Welcome back to episode 16 of Survival of the Fitted. You're chilling here with your boy, Joe Williams, aka Sneakerhead Joe. We got Ian Pierno. We have a slam-oriented episode today. You guys are going to love it. For all of our sneakerheads out there, we have Max Resetar, aka not even the head of SLAMKICKS. This man is SLAMKICKS. We have a great episode. Nice interview. We're going to go ahead and run that right now. Let's get it.
Yo, we out here. This is episode 16, which means our 15th guest. It's Max Resetar. If you don't know, he's like the head of SLAMKICKS. He's basically the forefather of slam. He keeps the voice alive. He's not a huge basketball guy, but the biggest hoop dude I know. What's going on, Max?
What's up, Ian? Thank you guys for having me. Joe, what's good, baby? Appreciate you guys having me. This is an honor.
Of course. So I think, well, real quick, just tell us what you do real quick. People know about SLAMKICKS, I'm sure. Yeah. SLAMKICKS is kind of LeagueFits dad anyways, so speak on what you do real quick.
Yeah, no, I'm not the head of SLAMKICKS. I am SLAMKICKS. It's only me.
Ooh.
You feel me? Yeah, so I was Joseph Sherman, who used to work at Slam. He and I were the first ones to post on LeagueFits. So it definitely is a little lineage right here. Shout out to that Kobe and LeBron post that we did. And then you guys, Ian, you took that and ran with it. Joe, you're running with it right now. So yeah, it's all connected. I mean, you guys know this. We're a small team and we all do a shit ton of stuff. So there's nothing new.
Yeah, facts. But like SLAMKICKS, like why did you become the kicks guy? How did that happen?
Keep it a buck. I just didn't really leave Slam after my internship was done. And then the guy who was SLAMKICKS before me, Abe, my mentor, my Qui-Gon Jinn, who he sacrificed himself for me. He let me take over SLAMKICKS, and then, Big Figs, the God, was like, "This is gonna be your show," and it started with Kicks number 20, which is I did 20 different covers for the 20 best sneakers of the Kicks era, and I wrote the majority of that issue, and then haven't looked back since then.
That's what's up. And so LeagueFits, I think, is unique because it was kind of like the first, or at least first big, like athlete basketball fashion page. But obviously there's been tons of kicks pages. But I think SLAMKICKS specifically has kind of a unique viewpoint. Speak on that for me real quick.
Yeah, SLAMKICKS. So first of all, it's just basketball, right? Like, you have the Goliaths that started in the internet days, like Nice Kicks and Soul Collector, and forgive me for forgetting the people who were here first, Kicks on Fire, all those guys. But that's a super digital space, and they do all of everything. They do Pharrell rocking da 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 da. They do Kanye rocking da da, like everything. And so SLAMKICKS is just basketball. And then within that, it's similar to what you guys do, right? Like it's basketball, but it's not just. I'm not just saying, this dude scored 95 points and this pair. Like, I try to get crazy with it. I try to get crazy with it. I'm in the middle of researching Superman right now because Colin Sexton is wearing the DB4s, the Jordan 4s, and it has the Superman logo on it. So I'm trying to connect Superman to Colin Sexton. So he's Colin, he's not Clark, but he's still Colin. Trying to figure that one out right now. But that's a little example, and then you get into the writing stuff, and that's a whole different world, honestly. Like, in the magazines that I've written, I've written about elephants, and I've written about how the Greek alphabet was discovered, and I've written about airports and how that has influenced the patent leather on the Air Jordan 11. It's a whole bunch of different shit that I try to combine within basketball and through the lens of basketball, but then just like blow it up into this big mushroom cloud of life,
What are the connections between airports and Jordan 11s for us casuals who don't know?
When Tinker was looking for inspiration for the 11, he noticed in Denver they have these this unique roof design, and so when he was looking at that, it gave him inspiration of how he could house the patent leather with the nylon mesh of the Air Jordan 11. So it was how he was able to construct these two materials that no one had put into a basketball sneaker before, and that gave him the push to be able to construct the sneaker in the way it is. And that's the patent leather shine that we saw in Orlando in 1995 and just to the moon now. You guys know what the 11 is now. So that's like, that to me is the most interesting part of design, right? And what you guys do and what the sneaker world does. Like, it's the capacity to observe things and then translate them into this lens that no one else could have even conceived. You know, like there's got to be something that you guys are looking at for LeagueFits merch and just being like, this is the most wild out there shit, but on a piece of clothing, it's gonna make an instant classic. So that's what Tinker was thinking about.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's insane.
So obviously there's such a, I think when it comes to, you know, the reasons we love basketball goes beyond just the game. I think everyone here loves basketball culture. And sneaker culture and fashion culture are both a part of that. But I think sneaker culture, I think everyone can agree, definitely came first. But I think sneaker culture opened the door for fashion culture in the NBA. Would you agree?
I would agree. I think one of the things that happened is you date it back to Kobe and AI and T-Mac, right? Like the dudes that didn't wear suits and the dudes that then Kobe wore suits a little bit, but no, because even there's that moment at Teen Choice Awards where he wins the surfboard and he's got the overalls on and he's wearing the Sunshine Kobe's, the Adidas. So no,
suits were actually like old Kobe. Like when he was like older, it was kind of like after when you didn't have to wear suits anymore. That's when he started making suits his thing, which is actually dope.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it goes hand in hand. I do think that because of MJ and then later because of Iverson with the questions, sneakers got the push, right? Like they got the big push. Then you look at the Fun Police. Also, you look at what Larry Johnson was doing with Converse, and there's this big marketing push for footwear. Shit just takes off like crazy. And then as dudes stop wearing the suits that like Patrick Ewing and MJ and all those guys were wearing, then it blows up. And then, bro, I promise you, there's this photo of Russ. And I don't think I was an intern, but I had to have just gotten full-time hired. Because Russ walks into the arena and he's wearing the Gatorade collection that Jordan Brand did a few years ago. And I posted that on Maine. And I got messages and it blew up. And I got messages from Figs and from Peter Walsh, who is like my Yoda. And he was, and they were like, yo, like this shit is taking off. Like they could see the fashion stuff was really starting to pop on Instagram. So I think it's all just like this gradual build. And then Ian, you come in and explosion.
Yeah. And also like, dude, basketball sneakers were like the first shoe that people were wearing. Yeah. Well, not like no one wears football cleats when they're not playing football, or golf shoes when they're not golfing, or soccer shoes even, really. You know what I mean? Like some people rock like the indoor soccer shoes, but it's just not even on the same like plane. Basketball sneakers.
What was the first pair of basketball kicks that broke your guys' neck?
That's a good question. I was super into shoes in high school. Actually, nickname alert, Sneakerhead Joe. That was my nickname in high school. I just want a new nickname for the week.
No, it wasn't.
Joe. It literally was. Joe, I swear to God, wait, that was
context,
the nickname. Yeah.
Context. Joe gives himself a new nickname every week. Okay, so Sneakerhead Joe. Joe, what was your first basketball sneaker
nickname,
when you're like, yes?
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Let's get to the actual. What was the first shoe? Actually, I didn't have an answer for this shit. I just wanted to say that my nickname was Sneakerhead Joe.
You don't have an answer?
Here,
I'll go.
But you can go first. I'll go right after you. I promise.
So this is probably later in life than most people. But my first basketball shoe where I was like obsessed, because growing up, like when I would hoop, I just had like the raunch, like dirty as shit. But when I first got a pair of the Kyrie ones, it was this yellow pair, and like I actually still have that sneaker. Like the bottom is so destroyed and slippery. Go ahead.
Green accents.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a navy. It's like a greenish blue check and then green accents. And that was like my first sneaker. I just like fell in love with it, bro. I bought it off this dude in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He was like, hey, yo, I got Kyrie's. I actually got two pairs from him. I got the yellow pair and then I got a black pair that also had like a green accent on it. It was two pairs of Kyrie ones.
What was the transaction like? You pull up on him in like a parking lot?
Yeah. Oh, I pulled up on him in the parking lot. And I remember I literally downloaded Cash App onto my phone in order to like buy the shoes. I think it was like an iPod at that point. I don't know. But yeah, so I bought those sneakers and like I was just like obsessed, like those yellow ones. And even like to this day, I don't hoop in them anymore, but I will like never get rid of them. I don't play 2K anymore, but like during COVID, I played 2K a ton, and they had like the Kyrie 1 silhouette in the game, but not that colorway that I have. And if you spend like 20,000 VC or something like that, you can like customize the colors. And I remember holding my sneaker and customizing all the colors in the game for the silhouette and paying 20,000 VC, which probably could have made my 3-pointer like a 100 instead. But so I got my sneakers. So my guy rocked a sneaker in the game and it was like mine. I was like, it was so lit because it was the first time I could wear those. They're just like unwearable now. I was like, hell yeah, I'm finally wearing the sneaker again. So I've been wearing
that to me, bro, that to me right there that's like the power of footwear, right? Like you just talk for like 2 solid minutes with a big ass with a big ass smile on your face about one pair. And I think that's the most beautiful part of this crazy world that we're all in. You know, like that to me is honestly like that's love right there. But Sneakerhead Joe, what's up?
Yeah, my story is a little bit more tragic. I got cut from like the 7th grade basketball team, but I got cut looking swaggy because this is like the Nike ID days. So I'm in middle school. Yeah, literally, yeah. So I'm in middle school and I'm like in the computer lab. Like our math class would go to the computer lab on Wednesday. So I went to the computer lab and I was on Nike ID making this like pair of Kobe 5s. And I just was like, I want to like black them all out. So I like literally like just blacked everything out or whatever. Didn't have any money. So I just had them sitting in the cart. But these are the days where you just like make shoes and you would never buy them. You just have them like just whatever. Yeah. And I literally, my aunt took me to like the Nike factory near like the mall. And I kid you not, like I walk into the store and they have like, that's like a general release colorway for the Kobe 5. It was like a black with like silver trim. So I walk in and I'm like, dude, what the, this, I just like, we have to get these. And I got those and like a bunch of like Nike Elite socks back when that shit was cool. And then I got cut from the 7th grade basketball team, but I looked cool as fuck the whole time. So it was all good. But that shoe definitely like spiraled. And then even after that, it was like the Kobe 6 had like the little, what is that, like snake type print or whatever. And like, I remember like thinking, or I could like, I'll think of the shoe and I could think of a moment of like when the shoe was on the court or like Kobe like cuts and like dunks on whatever guy's name is who played for the New Orleans Hornets at the time when they played him.
Emeka Okafor.
Emeka Okafor. Yeah. He dunks on Emeka Okafor and he has those shoes on and I'm like, what the fuck, remember? So like, yeah, the Kobe 5 was definitely like the start of sneakers for me.
Hey, Sneakerhead Joe. And look at you now, bro. Fuck the 7th grade basketball team. Look at you now.
Fuck the 7th grade basketball team. You're listening to this. Fuck Moreland Middle School. I'm just like, just go crazy.
Speaking of sneakers, fuck them kids, right?
No, Michael, we love you, bro. Anything you say is all good, bro.
Oh, dude. But yeah, dude, so many memories are attached to sneakers. It's kind of like music. Like,
yes.
Sometimes when I hear a song, I just like I feel music, sneakers, and tattoos are all this way for me. Whenever I like see like a tattoo I have on myself or hear a song, like my mind goes to where I was back then. Like when I see like those the one hoop sneaker I've had before besides Kyrie's, I got a pair of D Rose 7s when I was in college because NC State was an Adidas school and Dennis Smith Jr. was wearing that was the sneaker he wore during the games at NC State. And I got those sneakers because I watched Dennis and that was like a period in my life where I was like really just like grinding like crazy. Like I had already applied to like Internet Slam twice and not gotten it. So I was just like really grinding, ironically. And so like now I'll still also have those sneakers and I won't wear them because I honestly just think it's a terrible basketball sneaker, but like it just reminds me of the hustle, and I love that about shoes.
So when you say that right now, right in 2021, what emotion do you feel? Like, what are you thinking of when you say that?
The grind just like makes you want to go fucking work. Also, the D Rose 7, that was the last shoe I ever dunked in, and so it will always mean so much to me.
Ian, I've known you did not dunk in fucking.
I promise I ran a 4.7. I was athletic, dude. One leg off my left leg, right arm. I had to travel. But when you're like the white dude dunking in pickup games, like no one calls you for traveling. Like I'd pick it up at the 3-point line on a fast break, carry it like a football and go up and dunk it. Cause like I couldn't dribble and only take 2 steps and get enough momentum going.
Hey, dedicated LeagueFits audience, I'm calling bullshit right now.
Oh my man, dude! I have I have a screenshot of a video from my old iPod Touch that has it, and I will send it to both of you after this. I promise.
In 240p, it's gonna be 240p, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. It's at a Lifetime Fitness in Apex, North Carolina. It was the first time I ever dunked. I promise.
I believe it because of the details. That's the only reason I believe it. But
Yeah,
you know what
man.
shoe is also like really hard? I hope I'm not getting the year wrong, but I think it was like the 2014 Hyperfuse, where like I think those are shoes like Steph Curry had like dropped 54 in New York with those shoes. But like being in the Bay, what's up?
Hyper dunks.
Were they Hyper Dunks?
Yeah.
Steph Curry at the Garden.
No, I think Kyrie was a Hyper Dunk dude. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry had Hyperfuses on. They were like teal with like yellow. Did I just get slam kicks?
Dude, Joe was like 12 years old. I'm not sure though.
No, watch out. Whatever, but either way, dude, why don't we do some research? Steph Curry,
I know you guys
bro,
can't see, but Max
Bay,
is like firing away on the
he's
keyboard
like,
right
just
now.
better not fucking be right. I swear on everything, dude.
Might have to run that back.
But dude, that was crazy. Those shoes, bro. Oh my god! Like everybody on the basketball team wanted Hyperfuses after Steph dropped 50, whatever, 4. But that was wild.
You got me. It's Hyperfuse. I was wrong.
All right, I might have to take your job, but
Yeah, you got it, bro. Password is
yeah,
Redacted.
Redacted.
No, that was such a big moment, bro. I was playing ball that night. That was such a big moment, like at the gym. This was before we had like real good iPhones and everything, whatever. But people were like going crazy at that because we're in Queens. Like we have all those Dunads that grew up Knicks fans, and this dude is just torching him. That's such a special moment. That's when Steph became Steph, you know?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like being in the Bay, I feel like we knew Stephen Curry and like no one else knew him. And I feel like that was like the one time where I remember going to school the next day. My friend Isaiah was like, bro, did you guys see? Everybody's talking about like LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. He's like, dude, you guys see Stephen Curry? I feel like that was like the one time where it's like, all right, Stephen Curry, you're not on CSN Bay Area anymore. You're like on NBA TV. Like you're like the guy. So like that was like the moment, bro. Those shoes were insane for me.
Facts. No, that's such a great point. And now he's about to come out with the 9. Like this, Steph to me is such a good example of just bravery and like doing your own shit. I think that's what has separated LeagueFits as well. It's like completely breaking the mold and then like continuing to rewrite the rules that you had already set down.
Yeah.
That to me, like this is the same thing with this guy over here in the Bay. That's special right there.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Curry, man. It's so interesting because the Bay loves. I'm from North Carolina, and like people from North Carolina don't love Stephen Curry the way that you think they would. Like if you ask people from North Carolina, like, yo, who you got one on like a game of 21? Brandon Ingram, John Wall, Harry Giles, Stephen Curry. People would put Harry Giles over Stephen. Like Harry Giles would wax him.
Yeah.
Why is that though?
I don't know. I think it's just like North Carolina. Like I've mentioned it on the pod before, and we made JJ Redick talk about it. But like North Carolina, like I love North Carolina basketball, and I don't know. I think it's just like a grit thing. I hate that word. I think it's overused, but like people love like people love John Wall. Mm-hmm. Like people love Brandon Ingram, like because like their high school games were so pop, and like all these dudes went to public school. John didn't, but like Word of God is like kind of a fake school anyways, so it's not like a private school you go to because you have money. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a private school you go to because there's like 16 kids in your graduating class and you play basketball. But like, so I think that's part of the reason, but it's interesting.
Well, first of all, shout out to CJ Leslie. Word of God.
Shout out to CJ Leslie, NC State, Knicks G League team, legend. Yeah, he was on the, what is it, Westchester Knicks? Yeah, briefly. Okay, back on the fashion kicks thing. So we talked about like some like hooping sneakers, and most people don't wear hoop shoes like outside of when they're hooping.
Not anymore.
I feel like you probably still do.
It depends. So yeah, like there's a pair of. Okay, I'll give you an example. So you can't really see it, but J Kidd is on my right over there, and then J Kidd is on my left over here as well. So he has it's not really his signature, but it's pretty much his signature. It's the Zoom Flight 95. And I got the jersey colorway that, like, when I still worked at Five Guys in like 2000 and like I was like 17 or 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I still wear that colorway out I'll wear that with jeans, like I'll wear that with sweats, I'll wear it with shorts. I don't care. It's such a special, it's like this is the other part of footwear, right? Like it's the physical manifestation of the men and the women that we grew up idolizing. Like I've been searching for the DT Shocks since 2007. Like Diana's signature, like I've wanted that since I was 13 years old. I've never been able to get it. But the J Kidd thing, the reason I wear them with jeans or like with sweatpants or whatever, it's just like it really is like it's just like a power boost or something. It's like a video game, bro. Like the attributes go up. You know what I'm saying? It's like 2K. I just feel closer to J Kidd. I feel closer to Mike. I feel closer to LeBron. I feel closer to Kyrie. All like on the line. Derrick Rose, bro. Like, oh my God, I can't, bro. Oh my God, bro. Like the Crazy Lights from 2011. This is before you guys' time, but yo, I wanted those so bad just because Derrick Rose was torching motherfuckers in 2011 and wearing it was 9.8 ounces and like he could spin the thing on his finger in the commercial.
I remember this. I remember this,
bro. That shit like blew my mind, bro. Like I just wanted that to get closer to D Rose. Like that's why I still wear the J Kidds outside. Like that really is. It's like when you talk, it's just the passion. It's just a way to get closer.
Dude, that's what makes basketball players so epic. Is even when you're not hooping, you want to feel like Mike. You want to feel like prime Derrick Rose. Like, and it's not even, you don't even have to be having a basketball in your hands. You just want to have like that mentality. Like football, baseball, like that doesn't like, no one's like, yo, I want the Brady mentality when I'm about to go to the club. You know, like it's not a thing.
The best thing is when you have that like the perfect example, Dennis Smith Jr., right? Like he is not, and I love Dennis Smith, like shout out. Unfortunately, he didn't become what we thought he'd become, but his impact is still there on you. Like you're still talking about the D Rose sevens all these years later. And like that to me is like, that's why we do what we do at Slam, right? Is because we have the players that we all love and the players that people don't even know we talk about. Like, bro, like, you know, Terry Rozier, like I talk about Terry Rozier with you. I talked about him with like Peter Walsh back in the day. Like that's a motherfucker we just straight up love, bro. And like
this is the coolest dude in the NBA.
Bro, if he had a signature Puma, I'm getting that. Like,
oh my God, I went so fast.
And I told Langston Galloway, shout out to LG. I told him straight up, like, I'm gonna buy your shoe, bro. Like, do not send me your shoe. I want to support this because this is monumental. Like, footwear is monumental. We're gonna sit here when we're all old and gray, and when I have even less hair, like someone else is gonna be doing this podcast, right? And they're gonna be talking about, I don't fucking like, you know, whatever comes out tomorrow. I don't know.
The Mellow Ball one.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
They're gonna be like, man, I remember waiting at school. Dude, for me, it was at school because like our computers at home were shitty. We had to share with like my parents. So after school in like middle school and high school, we'd stay after school in the library and watch basketball highlights. And it was like the point where you didn't even have to like see it. You could just hear like the beat and you'd be like, oh, you're watching that Deuce Bello? But we would also watch the NBA highlights in like 2011. I think it was my freshman year. And I was at Enloe High School. And that was when Derrick Rose was tearing it up. And I remember staying after school and sitting in the library and watching D-Rose. There'd be like 6 of us huddled around the computers. We'd be like, what? I remember that.
So
like,
dope.
You just wanted to be him.
That's so dope. And like the visceral response that you have to that right now is so powerful, bro. That's amazing. That is so dope. Joe, if there was one person in the league right now that deserves a signature that doesn't have it, who is it?
Well, does D'Angelo Russell have a shoe? Because I know he has like the situation with Lining and Wade.
He doesn't have a signature yet, but he has led collaborations for leagues.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the deal, bro. Like even his shoes right now are tough, but like they're weird. Like I don't know how to like get them. It's weird. Like I don't know how to buy Linings or I don't even know how to get it.
There's a store in Miami, like a dedicated store, and then other than that, you got to go online. But I think honestly, like Lining, they're not going to get the attention that everyone else gets. But the work that they've done with D Wade, now with Jimmy Butler, and with D'Lo. First of all, shout out to D'Lo. That's fam. 2 cover story. That's my guy. Big lefties. The work they've done with him and with those other guys, like they're so unique, right? Like they exist in a creative space that other brands can't even touch because they can't be that experimental. So the D'Lo stuff, if he had his own, that shit would go crazy because they work with like, let me try. They like alter the geometry of the construction of their like. So if you look at some Way of Wade's, like they're not built in the same way that a Kyrie 1 is built, that Russell's sneakers built with Jordan Brand. It's super interesting stuff. Like the engineering in Li Ning stuff is super different.
Yeah, I wish I knew like the silhouette names, but like there's some stuff I'm like, dude, because I follow like D'Angelo on Instagram. I'm like, bro, like some of the stuff is like super awkward looking.
Yeah.
Or he's like my favorite player, so I have like League Pass and I'll watch him play, and I'm like, dude, like what? I don't even understand like the structure of the shoes or some of the stuff he walks in. If he's injured, he's sitting on the sideline. He's like wearing some like, I'm like, dude, whose idea was it to make the shoe look like this? But yeah, they're hella different, and like he kind of fits the mold, so like it just works.
Yeah.
What's the equivalent of that for clothing? Like, what would be the equivalent of fucking up geometry?
Homie, I would say fucking Rick Owens. I like Rick Owens shit.
We're just talking about like a brand specifically.
No, I'm more so talking about like the concept of construction, right? Like, because when you look at like the All Cities, those are the Li Nings, like they're just built in a way that's totally unique.
I'd say this is just one outfit, but last year Kyle Kuzma wore this outfit and it was like runway Dolce & Gabbana. It was a bunch of different like blues and whites, but like it had like the way the shoulders came out and stuff. Like it wasn't something, because like whether you're wearing a sweater or a t-shirt or even a tank top, like it lays on you the same way. And like it literally had like shape to it, and it was like
that's so dope.
Geometrical. It was interesting, and that was like my favorite outfit of the season.
I love that. I love that. I mean, being different is the best. And that's like coming up with something. Exactly. And that's totally unique. Like, did you see anyone else with anything close to that?
No. And the funny thing is Kuz picked it out for. So Kuz, actually one of my good friends, Trino Wynn, styles Kuz, and people are like, oh, having stylists is lame, but really it's like a collaborative thing. But Kuz was the one who wanted that, and Trino was like, nah. I think it's kind of fucking lame. But Kuz was like, no, I need you to make sure I get these pieces. And like for something that's on the runway, like they only make like one. He's like, I need you to like get that. And like Kuz put that was like, it was all his idea, which I think is so sick.
All right. So I heard you guys talk to JJ about this, right? To JJ Redick about this, but like the concept of fashion just like being what makes you guys happy. Do you guys have any response to what JJ said?
Which part?
To I'm asking this because in the same way that the stylist was like, no, that's lame, but then Kuz was like, no, like I fuck with that. Is what would you guys say to some kid in Idaho being like, my friends call my fashion lame?
There's like no such thing, because like you really just dress for yourself, right? And like you also dress for other people, because like what is self-expression? Like if there's nobody to express yourself to, then you're not expressing yourself. You know what I mean? Like I have like tattoos, for example, and if I never saw anyone, if I was like a hermit, I don't know if I'd have tattoos, you know what I mean? But they're also for me. So fashion is to express yourself to others, but it's because, you know, you what we wear when we sleep, you know, it's nothing. I wear like a gym short and like no shirt, you know what I mean? But like when we're out, like, but it's also for ourselves. So I think that if someone says it's lame, it doesn't matter, because it's just about how you feel in it. You know what I mean? Because it's for you. It's for others to see, but it's for you to feel. Does that make sense? I know I kind of rambled real quick.
No, facts. I agree with that. Joe, what you got? Yeah.
I think I'm on the same wave as Ian on that one, but I just have to add like a little footnote. That like takes time too, because I remember thinking that and hearing that answer when I was like 15 in high school, and I was like, well, yeah, but at the same time, like I want to be cool, and like being cool is like being accepted. And they like, you can't be accepted if you're different necessarily. So like you want to wear like what the rappers are wearing, or you want to wear like the brands that are cool and stuff like that. And like you have to go certain places to go and get that. And you're going to look like a mannequin at the end of the day. But when you get older and when you start using that mindset, then like that's when you start like, I feel like establishing your own cool, because I think a lot of people look at like, because we're talking about athletes and stuff like that. A lot of people look at like athletes and like, oh, like how we were just talking about D-Lo. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, I love that, like, D'Angelo, or what did you write? You said, like, when the tunnel trends, like, zig, he zags. Yeah. Like, I love that he does his own thing. And then it's like, well, do you like the, like, what, like, the fact that, do you like the wave that he created, or you like the fact that he created his own wave? Like, do you want to do that, or do you want to hop on his way? So it's, like, that same mindset. Yeah. And I think when you start looking this way, that takes time. Like, that takes maturity. Like, you're going to have to get a little older before you feel comfortable wearing stuff that, like, other people think are lame.
So, go ahead, Ian.
Real quick, like I definitely like agree, Like, I mean, there was a period where, like, I'm from North Carolina, like in college, like, dude, I started wearing like fucking boat shoes. Like, that was what wasn't, but it's because what everyone else was wearing. And that took so much effort. Anyway, a big comment that I see in the LeagueFits comment section is like, hey, yo, this dude is trying so hard to be different, right? And I hate that comment. That's my least favorite comment, even more so than they should worry more about their jumper and less about their closet. Like, I hate that comment even more just because, like, it takes more effort to be like everyone else, like to keep up with what everyone else is doing, like constantly acquiring like cheap shit to like make sure you're keeping up and make sure your grid looks like everyone else's grid. It takes far less effort to be yourself, even if that's a little bit different than it does to be different. I think that's something that you realize, like, as Joe said, when you get a little bit older. But being different is way easier than trying to be like everyone else. That shit is fucking exhausting.
Okay, so for both of you, this is what I was going to ask Joe, but it ties in perfectly with what you just said, Ian. Is there a specific moment where you both realized that?
Damn, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I know it was. So. I definitely know. I don't know the specific moment, but I know it was like during COVID, because I could tell you like the last fit that I had before the shutdown was on some like, all right, guys, you know what I used to really love? I used to love when people would be like, oh, I see you in the blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, I see. They know what it is. You know what I mean? So like, oh, I see you in like the Supreme SS19, like some stupid shit. Like, I already know what it is. I used to love those compliments, dude, because I used to be like, okay, like, oh, I'm kind of flexing. And then I started shifting like my mentality. And then now I start liking the compliments that are like the, dude, what is that? Or like, dude, where'd you find that? Like, I was with my friend like last Saturday. We were in line at Six Flags. I was wearing this like hot pink vintage t-shirt. And he's like, dude, like, where'd you find that? Or where'd you get that t-shirt from? I'm like, homie, this is like $2. I found this in a thrift store like last week. He's like, bro, I gotta go thrifting with you. And I'm like, dude, like, that's what it is. Like the compliment, it's kind of how you were saying, like, it's like self-expression, how people perceive it. When you start seeing like the reaction you get to your clothes, like, okay, like I kind of like that whole like, where did you get that from? Like, that's like what I kind of value now, like being different in that regard. Yeah.
That's easier than searching the web for some rare Supreme shirt, like emptying out your bank account. You know what I mean? Like being a little bit different is just, it's way easier. And I think that's what was the question that rounding all the way back, what we tell like the kid that's like, yo, my kid, like my homies think I'm lame. I'd say the only thing that's fucking lame is if you try to be just like them. That'd be the only thing that could be lame. The only thing you can do in fashion that's lame is trying to be just like someone else. And you could take inspiration, man. Like I got a babushka because of A$AP Rocky, you know what I mean? But I'm not trying to be A$AP Rocky, you know?
That extends beautifully to sneakers for me, because if you look at my I got shit that, you know, the average 14-year-old kid would be like, what is that? But it makes me happy. And I wear all those sneakers. And that's the most important thing to take away. If anything, wear your kicks, because the glue is going to come apart and they're going to break down and it won't even matter. All your IG posts, it won't even matter. You wasted all that money. But it goes into what these guys are saying, which is just do what makes you happy.
Yo, while we're on the topic of Max's kicks, being SLAMKICKS, what is your sneaker collection like right now? Do you have like a crazy collection, or are you more just like, I have what I like?
No, I've given away a lot, but there still exists like the foundation. So like my first, I mentioned Five Guys earlier. That was my first job. So the first paycheck I got from Five Guys, I went to Foot Locker at Roosevelt Field Mall, which is that's where Dr. J is from. And I bought 4 different pairs of kicks. I bought the Queens Air Force Ones. I bought the Grape Air Max 95s, some blue and white Air Max Rights, and Model Mio. What was the fourth one? That's gonna frustrate the shit out of me. Doesn't matter. But I still have some of those pairs. And then you throw in like the blessings from the many brands, which I do appreciate. And then as well as like all the Nike ID stuff that I have from over the years. And then, you know, like the crazy shit that I'm not going to tell you guys on the air. I'll tell you guys off the air, but the gifts from players that I've met over the years. Like, so it's a big collection of a whole lot of different stuff, but it's rooted in just the stuff that I like those Zoom Flight 95s, like the ones that I was saying I walk around in. If I went to the park right now and like I was playing with the high school kids, like they would be like, what are those? Like, and not in a good way. Cause that's a sneaker with the bug eyes and with it just looks crazy. But I don't care because it makes me so happy. You know, like I have like the Guns N' Roses dunks from '08. I think they can't. I just got them. Like I finally chased those down from '08 because that's my favorite band of all time, and I was finally able to get those in my size, and like they look good. And that's the last pair of sneakers I bought, and that was July. Like I haven't bought a pair of sneakers since then because like I'm content, and I'm not out here to prove nothing to nobody. Like, you know, you could read my work. I know my shit. You could watch my YouTube videos. I know my shit. You could see my captions. I know my shit. I'm just out here. The sneakers I want are the sneakers that I want. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I love that. I love that. Shit. I got one more question. Did you ever wear the low top KDs with cargo pants, like with like cargo khaki pants, when that was a thing in like 2012?
KDs.
You remember that era?
I definitely had cargo shorts. I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember wearing cargo shorts with the Orion Air Jordan 7s. You might have to do some Googles for that one. I was in high school when those came out. And I remember people at Dozo, shout out to Dozo in Queens. I remember people at Dozo being like, yo, these are fire. Like, I want to get the Orion 7s real bad. And it was like this weird era before like you could still get J's walking into Foot Locker pretty much. And so it was like that weird era where like everyone had the Orion 7s, excuse me. And I wore them with like, oh, bro. Damn, you just triggered a crazy memory. Bro, I wore, oh my God, the white and red LeBron 7s with the Flywire and the patent leather. I wore those to school like every day with cargo shorts. Like I wore those like multiple times a week with the cargo shorts because that was the moment, bro. It was like with the elite socks and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like,
with the elite socks and like a polo.
No, never that. Never, ever
okay. That might have been in North Carolina. I think folks who wear KDs, khaki shorts, and like a polo with the Nike Elite socks. It pulled all the way up, like no wrinkles in the socks, pulled all the way up. Like when they were called mid calf socks. Yeah, when they were mid calf socks, it was actually the middle of your calf.
Yeah. No, I didn't go that bad. Sorry for the rambling, but that was a memory you just helped escape from my mind. But no, shout out to cargo shorts. No shame. I have
no
photos
shame.
still. No shame.
Shit.
Dude, I wore cargo shorts my freaking, was it my sophomore year of high school or something like that?
Yeah.
I remember I had like my first pair of retro Jordans. Like my brother-in-law took me to like this mall in New Jersey, and he's like, all right, dude, you got like $200 to spend in this mall. And it was like LeBron had like these low tops, and there was some other like Roshi runs back when that was cool.
Yeah.
But then like I was just looking, and I was like, yo, what are those? And they were like Venom Air Jordan 10s. They weren't like a cool colorway at all, but it was just like a black colorway with like the neon green, like you flip the shoe under and has like the the 10 commandment type whatever. And I was like, dude, these are hard. And like I was like my first Air Jordan I got, and then I got like the Kilroy 9s after that.
Yeah.
And that kind of sparked it, because then after that I had got my first job, and then I was just like spending all my money on shoes from this weird, I don't even know if it's still a thing. It was like a brand called Trusted Kicks in like Milwaukee, and I wasn't even in Milwaukee, but I would just buy all my shit from there. I had like all the military blue for it and all that shit, but that was hard, dude. Shoes was it before fashion. Like a lot of people get into fashion from shoes. Like that's where it really deprives from a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're not into footwear anymore, Joe?
Dude, not really. Like, I mean, I'm kind of getting back into it, but there was a weird phase where like I had just focused on like the clothes, and I would just wear like Vans, especially being like in California. But then now like I'm starting to like, ironically, it's not sneakers, but I'm starting to get into like boots and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm sure probably eventually, I actually almost wore some Travis's to class today, but then I flipped out and just wore some Yeezy slides. But I might wear some sneakers. You never know. Pop out.
Yeah.
I mean, you just used the word weird right there. I don't think any of that's weird, bro. I think that's just your personal evolution as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like you're learning about shit. You're learning about what makes you happy, and boots make you happy right now. It's all good.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel like sneaker culture just got like, I used to be really into like I remember when one of my first Slam paychecks, like as a full-time employee, I got my first pair of Jordans actually. They were Mocha 3s. But like, especially in like in LA where like sneaker culture, it's always just like what's next. Like I got really burnt out. So the only like shoe I really like spend money on now is like hooping shoes. Like my non-hooping shoes, I have like 6 different pairs of Chuck Taylors and like a few pairs of Vans, and I also have a couple boots. And like I wear those every single day. So the only like sneakers I'll like add is usually hooping shoes, which I just wear to hoop only. Just sneakers, like sneaker culture got like super exhausting. You know what I mean? Like
no, I feel that. I understand that. I think All right, so I'll say two things. So one is wear your kicks, but the second thing is please don't define your happiness by whether or not you got that week's sneaker release. Like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of releases. Like you're not gonna get all of them. Not all of them are worth it. Like just keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like these sneaker releases do not define you or your worth as a human being. Like there's gonna be another Air Jordan 1 tomorrow. There's gonna be another Yeezy the day after that. Like just keep it pushing. It's really not, because you will get burnt out otherwise. Like you will find unhappiness more than you'll find happiness, which is not that is not any type of way to live.
Facts.
Yeah. Sneaker culture today is pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. Like I'm glad I was in it like in 2015, because if I was in it now, I would not be able to handle it. I remember on the Adidas, I think it was like Adidas Confirmed app, when they had just first started putting Yeezys out, and I didn't even have internet on my phone, and I was like on the city bus, and I was like, bro, the Turtle Doves come out in however many minutes, and I'm like hitting the fucking bus stop thing. I'm like, dude, we have to get off right now because I have to run into the Starbucks and like go get these, try to get these shoes. And I'm like sitting on my phone clicking the damn button for like 30 minutes and didn't even get them. Like that was one memory. There's people who do that every week on the sneakers app. So like, bro, hell no. You got me.
Dude, West Coast time, sneakers app drops at 7 a.m.
7 a.m., dude, get up.
Not worth it.
Nah. Wait, speaking of sneaker culture, last question, Max. You're only like a couple years older than me, but I feel like there's a chance you might have. Did you ever wait in line for a sneaker?
Yeah, absolutely. Bro,
which one stuck out the most?
My favorite. So the cover of SLAMKICKS Jordan's Volume 6, Air Jordan 11, it says the best basketball sneaker of all time. That's because I stood in line for the Bread 11s when they came out when I was in high school. I didn't get them. It was devastating.
How long?
Oh, bro. So this was December.
In New York?
Yeah,
For y'all that don't know, Max takes a week of vacation every year and stays in Queens. So
shout out to the borough, 718 till I die. It was in the cold and I didn't get them. And I was with one of my friends who will remain nameless because he also like almost had tears in his eyes. And we were at Roosevelt Field again, like that we were trying to be at the Foot Locker Roosevelt Field. Yeah, it was devastating, bro. And that's like 16 or 17-year-old me, like, that's what I did. Like I defined the next like 3 weeks off of not getting the Bread 11.
Yeah.
And it was miserable, y'all. Like, but yeah, that's the one and only time I waited in line. Because I was too young for the Pigeons. Like I was like 10 or 11 when the Pigeons came out, so I couldn't get them then. That's a whole different story right there. That's some New York City history. But that was it. Had you guys ever done that?
Nah.
Not camped out, nah.
I've never
when I got
waited in
into
line
it, they weren't even, it was just raffles at that point.
Yeah, facts.
They do raffles. But that's crazy though, that the whole Bread 11 story, because I bought a pair of Bread 11s and I ended up getting 2 left shoes from this like resale sneakers store. And they sent me 2 left shoes and they were both like still like, like that plastic that they air compress and wrap on the shoe. And they sent me 2 left shoes. And I was like, this was my one chance to get Bread 11s. And they sent me 2 left shoes. I had to like call them. And I called them, or I didn't even call them, dude. I like DM'd them on Instagram and they were like, are you sure? Like, are you sure we did? I'm like, no, dude, I'm lying to you. Like, yeah, you guys sent me 2 left shoes. And like, I had to like I'd send it back and they got my money back. But I just thought that was crazy because like you waited in line to get the Bread 11s, didn't get them. I ordered Bread 11s, didn't get them. And I just like, F it, I'm not ever going to try to get Bread 11s again. But that shit was crazy though.
That's a miss. When I finally got my pair, it was the last retro. It took me that long to get that pair.
Really?
Yes, bro. And I like took a video of myself opening them. It's never been posted, but like just for my personal archives, like because that was a big moment.
Is that your favorite retro Jordan?
By far, it's by far my favorite. I think the Jordan 11 is a perfect basketball sneaker. Design, functionality, engineering. That's a perfectly made basketball sneaker. And then like, Air Max 95, salute. Huarache 2K10, salute. But not Jordan 11 is number 1.
I just think the Bread colorways are the best. My favorite retro Jordan is the Bread 4s. Like that shoe is insane to me.
Top 5 J's all time, they're all Bread colorways. Bread 1s, Bread 11s, Black Cement 3s, Black Cement 4s, and Infrared 6s. All black and red.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's armor, bro. It really is like modern day armor. Like you put on a pair of black and red Jordans, nothing bad is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Straight up.
That's what's up. Well, yo, Max, I just want to say thank you so much
Thank
for
you
giving
guys,
us
man.
so much time today. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you guys.
This is
Appreciate it.
this is I had a
I
blast.
just like, I'm not going to go hoop because it's less than 70 degrees out, but I want to hoop so bad.
You're such a bum, bro. Such a bum.
Thanks for tapping in, G.
All right, bro. Deuces.
Peace.
All right, man. Go follow Survival of the Fitted wherever you get your podcast. Tell them that intern Joe sent you. Click the follow button. Go follow Survival of the Fitted.